people, back again with another video, and today I am here with my WWE Hell in a Cell 2016 review. And you know what, I will say, this is what I think about the show as of right now. I felt like the Hell in a Cell matches definitely delivered, in my opinion. I thought they were very well done, great matches. As for everything else on the card, not that impressive, you know, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't terrible or anything, but, you know, either the crowd wasn't into it or the match wasn't just that incredible. But anyway, I won't muck around, let's get straight into the review. Actually, we're going to talk about the pre-show match, and that was the 6-man Cruiserweight Tag Team match. It was Cedric Alexander, Lince, Dorado, and Sin Cara versus Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, and Ariya Daivari. Didn't see that match because I was at work until like 10:30 or whatever, so I missed like the first bit of the show. But I heard that it was a very, you know, fun, high octane match, which was cool. Babyfaces got the win, and yeah, sweet. Then on to the actual show. It is for the United States Championship. It is Roman Reigns versus Rusev inside Hell in a Cell. And I really enjoyed it. It was a very good match, in my opinion. They threw each other into the cell a lot, and it was kind of like... I mean, they did use the cell quite a bit. I mean, they were throwing it into each other quite a bit, but there was a lot of use of the steel steps. There was a lot of weapon use, like Singapore cane and steel chairs and all that kind of stuff. And there was one bit where like Roman was caught up into the ropes, and Rusev got this cane and was just whacking him on his belly, and I was a bit confused because I was like, hasn't he got a bulletproof vest on? So shouldn't he like feel too much pain or anything? But I don't know, it was just a bit weird. There was a big sequence between the two until Roman hit a great Superman punch, and there was a super kick by Rusev, and then he rammed him into the steel steps, which was cool. And then Rusev finds this chain underneath the ring. He looks at it and all that, and he just starts whipping Roman with it, which, and then again, it's like he's wearing a bulletproof vest. He shouldn't feel that much pain, but I don't know. I haven't been whipped by a chain yet. I don't want to be. But Rusev finds the steps. He grabs him into the ring. He actually put him into the corner, actually, and rammed Roman into it, which was pretty cool. He got the steel steps again. He put Roman onto him, and he locked in the accolade while he was on it, and he was using the chain to, like, pull his head back, kind of like he did the Cena, like, last year or whatever. But Roman Reigns ended up getting out of it because he's the big top dog. He hit a Samoan drop onto the steps. Then after a while Rusev was standing on the steps, Roman Reigns hit a big-time spear and retained the United States Championship. So, very fun match. I really enjoyed it. Good opener. And pretty much they did use the cell quite a bit, not as much as some of the other matches later on, but there was a lot more weapon use than there was cell use, which is a bit odd. But yeah, I still really enjoyed it. They did tease a table spot, but they never ended up doing it, which was weird. But yeah, didn't have a problem with this match. Roman Reigns did a good job tonight, has the United States Championship. I haven't had any real problems with Roman in the last few weeks, so he's been a good old boy, that Roman is. So yeah, congrats Roman, and yeah, he's still the champ. Then after that we get an interview but with Kevin Owens. I think it was the guy who is the main commentator on NXT, Tom Phillips, and who says, you know, how you feeling about your match in Hell in a Cell, and why did you attack Seth Rollins last week and hit the powerbomb onto the apron and all that. And says, you know, I will make him broken or whatever. And that last time I powerbombed someone into the apron, it was John Cena, and it took him weeks to recover. And that Seth thinks he can finally prove to himself that he's the man, and that he'll prove to the world that what Roman and Rusev went through will be nothing compared to what he does to Rollins, and that he won't be able to call himself the man after tonight because he will barely be a man, and that he will still be Universal Champion, which makes him the man. So, yeah, Kevin, good little promo building up to Hell in a Cell, and yeah, so next match is Bayley versus Dana Brooke. This match was super quick. This was a nothing match, pretty much. Dana Brooke worked on Bayley's shoulder for a little bit because they had like this arm wrestling contest last week, which was just weird because Bayley has a bad arm or whatever. But yeah, so she was working on that for a bit, which was good. And then Bayley just hits the Bayley to belly and wins. just like that, like it was nothing. I'm happy it's over. Hopefully Bayley goes on to do something bigger and better. She'll probably be in the 5-on-5 women's tag match at Survivor Series, which does make sense. I'd like her to be on that team. Maybe alongside Dana Brooke as well. Who knows? But so Bayley picks up the win. Got on her. You kick-ass girl. And the crowd didn't really give a shit about the match. Yeah, the crowd didn't really care about some of the matches on this card, I will say. Then we get to Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley backstage, and they're talking about Survivor Series and how they're going to annihilate SmackDown in the 3 matches that are going to happen. And then Chris Jericho, who is he's the MVP on Raw at the moment. He really is. And he says, why didn't you book me on the show or something like that? I didn't think he said that, but he's like, I'm going to put you on. And Mick's like, you sure about that, buddy? And it's like, you better watch it. And he pretty much wants to be the team captain for Monday Night Raw. And it's like, and they were like, yeah, whatever. And he says, and all that stuff. So, yeah, it was pretty much Chris Jericho just chatting shit to Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon. And then they announced, so Raw announces a brand new show after Hell in a Cell, and it's called Raw Talk. Oh my god. Yeah, they were pretty much like, okay, so SmackDown's doing a lot better than us at the moment in, not ratings yet, but in characters and storylines and all that stuff. What can we do? Oh yeah, let's copy their talk show, Talking Smack, and just make it Raw Talk. And you want to know why that show is going to suck and not be as good as Talking Smack? Because on Talking Smack, it's Renee Young and Daniel Bryan, the actual SmackDown GM, and he's just throwing shade at Raw and talking shit about it, and it's really funny. So, what did they have for Raw Talk? They had the pre-show panel. Alright, that's your big guess. It's not Renee Young and bloody Mick Foley, which would be a lot better. I mean, it would make sense. If Renee Young is going to be with Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack, why can't she be with Mick Foley on Raw Talk? Maybe they might do it on the Halloween episode tomorrow, who knows. Then we get to Enzo and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. Of course, Enzo and Cass cut their promo. Hottest guys on the roster right now when it comes to popularity in the tag division. They're right up there with New Day, in my opinion. And pretty much, they say Big Cass says that big girls need loving or whatever. And he says to, I think, Luke Gallows or whatever, he's like, you're just like Tom News Roman font, as generic as it gets, which I thought was quite funny. And then they make this reference to Toy Story that I really liked, and it says, you know what, Karl Anderson, your name will be Andy, and if that's the case, his name could be turned into Woody, because he can stomp your name into his boot, which I always thought was fantastic, loved it to death. And so after that promo, we ended up having the match. There was a bit where Gallows just flipped Enzo with a clothesline on the outside, which was good. Big Cass booted one of the members, and then how it all ended, Gallows hit a big super kick on, I think it was Enzo. They hit the Magic Killer, and they end up winning, which, don't have a problem with that. I'm happy that Gallows and Anderson picked up a win. Maybe WWE is finally going to give them the chance that they deserve and not treat them like crap, pretty much. So that's really good. I'm happy to see Gallows and Anderson picked up the win. I know I did predict Enzo and Cass to win in my predictions video that I posted earlier today, but oh well, I'm more than happy for Gallows and Anderson winning this match. They deserve the win. They need to be built up more. They don't need to lose all the time, and just thank God for getting rid of that stupid doctor gimmick and all that crap. So, yep, Gallows and Anderson win. Can't be more happy for them. Please push them, WWE. Make them a proper tag team. Please. So then we get to the WWE Universal Championship Hell in a Cell match between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins decided to wear his tights from 2 years ago, the plain black ones, so don't have a problem with that. And for some reason, everyone was wearing the tape that Cesaro was wearing, Bayley had it on her arm, and Rollins was having it on his back because he was selling the apron powerbomb that Kevin Owens gave him last week. So yeah, that was a bit weird, and all that. So there was a senton. There was a bit where Kevin Owens hit the senton on Rollins' back twice, which was crazy, and then he just ripped off the table like he was waxing his legs or something, and then drives his head into the cell, and Rollins gets chucked out of the ring by Owens and into the cell, which kind of looked like he was trying to do an outside dive to the cell, which was pretty funny. And then he did a cannonball into the cell, which was cool. And now they just have a big, they started hitting moves on each other, but then Owens clotheslining him in the end. And then he sets up this table spot where he puts a table near the ring in the cell, and then he puts another table. Yeah, there's a table like already down on the ground, all set up perfectly, and then he gets another table and he wedges it in between the apron and the cell, which I thought was really cool. And there was a suplex on the apron by Seth Rollins, which looked really solid as well. It looked really, really good. 2 suicide dives on the outside. And then Kevin Owens gets this fire extinguisher and sprays it in the ref's eyes. And then I was like, somewhat Triple H or Jericho is going to show up. You just wait. And of course it happens. Jericho shows up to unlock the door, and the refs are trying to get him out, but it's too late. He locks himself in. Then Owens does this package pile driver teaser thing, but Rollins ends up hitting the pedigree to Jericho, and then the big spot of the match, KO gets power bombed through both of the tables set up. Rollins, he's trying his hardest to pick up Kevin Owens because he still has that bad back he's trying to sell, so he chucks him through, crazy friggin' spot. Then he tries to take out Jericho, and he hits a power bomb into the cell. And then Owens hit his pop-up powerbomb, whatever, which was crazy. Then he hit, and then he brings a chair into the ring, and Kevin Owens does a crazy DDT onto the chair. And then, while, Jericho and Owens are just beating up Rollins, he hits a powerbomb through the chairs to end the match, and Kevin Owens retains the Universal Championship. So, yeah, great match. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought Owens and Rollins put on a great show. A lot of good spots in this match. Great storytelling. Love how Jericho is still buddying up with Kevin Owens. Just the buddies still continue. Don't know what they're going to do in the future. Don't know if there's going to be a third match at Survivor Series for the Universal title. Maybe a triple threat for the title at Survivor Series. Who knows? There could be a million possibilities. I think they might be in the 5-on-5 match. That might be the big main event going into Survivor Series, which would be very interesting. But yeah, great Hell in a Cell match, great Universal title match, and yeah, good job Kevin Owens. Then we get to the Cruiserweight Championship match between TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. And look, no disrespect to Perkins and Kendrick, this match was fine, but the crowd, they were just not digging it. They were just not into this match. It was practically silence throughout the whole thing. Except for one dude who shouted at Brian Kendrick, get a fucking haircut, hippie, which was funny. Of course, Brian Kendrick, still being the heel that he is, he hurt his ankle or whatever, and he hurt himself during the end. And Perkins stops the match because he's a babyface. He wants to be good and all that. And he's like, hey, is he okay and all that? And of course, Kendrick being, the sneaky, desperate heel, which I'm actually kind of liking at the moment. He just locks him in the captain's hook. Perkins can't take it anymore. He taps out, and Brian Kendrick wins the Cruiserweight Championship. So, yeah, fine enough match. It wasn't that great. Probably because the crowd were just not digging it, man. They were not into it whatsoever. But the match was fine, But I wish they could have done a lot better, in my opinion. But still, good to see Brian Kendrick win the Cruiserweight Championship. It's a good title for him, and hopefully he can go on to do some great things in the future with that championship. So then we get to the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championships, and New Day did their thing. They cut a promo, funny promo, and all that stuff. And we get to the match, and beforehand, it kind of looked like Cesaro and Sheamus. They were backstage, and they were kind of like, you know what, man, thanks for that. That's the first nice thing you do. And it's like, oh, they might be getting along, but then it slowly devolved and all that backstage. So they keep tagging themselves in and all that. And Xavier Woods did this sick outside dive flip, which looked beautiful, by the way. There was a rolling senton by Sheamus, and then Cesaro did a double foot stomp, which was pretty cool. And so Sheamus goes for the bro kick, but he accidentally kicks Cesaro. And then Sheamus jumps on a New Day outside, which looked cool. And then Cesaro locks in the sharpshooter on Xavier, and it looks like he was going to win. And because Xavier does tap out, however, Sheamus grabs Francesca 2, which is Xavier's trombone. And before Big E can break up the pin, he hits like Big E or Kofi with it, and they end up getting disqualified. So just Cesaro's just looking at him like, are you fucking serious? So yeah, that was pretty funny. New Day retain the championships. I don't think this is going to be the last time these two teams face off. I don't know if they're going to be in the 5-on-5. That's what I can say about every match. Yeah, they could be in a 5-on-5 match. Who knows? But yeah, decent match. Nothing too spectacular. Just a decent to good tag team match, in my opinion. Cesaro and Sheamus, either they're going to break up after this, or they're going to try and continue to get along and go after the New Day. So who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Then we get to the main event for the WWE Women's Championship. That's right. For the first time in WWE history, women are main eventing a pay-per-view. That is just fucking awesome, in my opinion. And it is Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship inside Hell in a Cell. And can I just say, Charlotte's entrance, fucking amazing. She just arrives on this throne with like 4 guys carrying him, and she's just got this robe on, and I'm like, oh, that is fantastic. And then Sasha Banks arrives in the car with security, kind of like her NXT TakeOver Brooklyn intro, which was really, really cool. And yeah, this match was just fucking fantastic. Like, even before the cell could raise, Charlotte just goes right after Sasha, beats the crap out of her. They fight into the crowd for a little bit, and then they go to climb onto the cell, which at that I was like, can you fucking not? I don't want you to die. But then, Jesus Christ, Charlotte gets Sasha in the powerbomb position and just blasts her through the announce table. Like, it was brutal the way she fucking sold that, and it looks like it was like, oh shit, is she alright and all that. And so they take it out of the stretcher and they really drag it on for a bit, and I'm just like, oh shit, is she alright? And Sasha's like, screw all yours, I'm all good. And then she goes to the ring and she's like, no, I want to have this match, let's fucking do it. So she like hits like the medics and all that. It was really, really cool. And so they get down to the match. This was just crazy, absolute craziness. Sasha got pulled into the pose, then there was like a monkey flip into the cell, which was cool. And Charlotte gets a chair. There was a couple of baseball slides by Sasha, and then an outside dive, and then Sasha just smacks her face into the chair. Charlotte fights back with a side slam through it, and there was a double knee spot after like Sasha got chucked into the cell, and then she did the Spider-Man spot where they like hold on to the cell, and then she did that as well. And there was Eddie Guerrero moment where she did 3 Amigos frog splash, which was really cool. And then they tried to do this spot where like the table was on the outside, and they were going to go for a superplex, but Charlotte tried to push Sasha, or Sasha pushed Charlotte, and they tried to go through the table, but the table ended up not breaking, so that was a bit lame. And then they did it again, where Sasha uses a chair to break up the figure 8, which was cool. And then they do like a couple of side slams by Charlotte, and then Charlotte chucks Sasha into the table like 3 fucking times, hits the natural selection, and wins. What the fuck? What? Like, oh my god. I was not happy. I'm not gonna lie, I was not happy to see Charlotte win the women's title again. I'm like, why the fuck does this bitch need to win the title again? It's not like she's held it long enough. She's pretty much won every single pay-per-view she's ever been on. So yeah, that's just crazy, you know. I think what they're trying to do is they're going to have Charlotte win every single pay-per-view up until WrestleMania, and then I think they should drop the title to someone, and I think that someone should be Bayley. Like, if you're going to go with this whole Charlotte wins at every single pay-per-view thing, go all the way with it and have her lose to Bayley at WrestleMania or something like that, because that would be fantastic to see. And Bayley has a big moment, and everyone goes crazy, you know, that would be great. But as of right now, yeah, a bit pissed off that Charlotte won, but actually, no, I'm not too bad, actually. But I do know that the crowd is going to boo the living fuck out of her next week, and it's going to be fantastic. So, yeah, that was the end of the show. Match of the night for me, hands down the main event, Sasha versus Charlotte. I may not be happy with the person who won the match personally, but the match itself is just awesome. And the fact that we get to see a women's Hell in a Cell match, just awesome. Absolutely awesome. How am I going to rate this show? You know what? I'm going to rate this 7.5 out of 10. I feel like the reason I'm rating it a 7.5 is because I thought the Hell in a Cell matches definitely delivered, but everything else was just, it was just kind of there. But the 3 Hell in a Cell matches were great, in my opinion. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below what you thought of Hell in a Cell. And if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. Be glad you did. Twitter and Instagram is at JackmanLol31. You want to check me out there. Also, check out the Bullshit Club, Billy Marcus TV, and the 5/8. The links will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out in 3, 2, 1.